And boom, we are live. Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Palm Beach is Paul coming to you live from wet and dreary South Florida. Not the Sunshine State right now, that's for sure. Turn this music down for a little bit as we hopefully get some people coming on, and we'll see how the evening goes. But good evening. Let me just go ahead and kill this music while we're at it. And there we go. So enough with the rock and roll. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to another live stream. Sorry I wasn't here last week, but I was on vacay. I was having a great time with my wife up in Sebastian, Florida, wearing my new hat from Paradolia Brewing Company. It's a hard one to pronounce, but good beer, nice people up in Sebastian, Florida. Had a great time. We went up to a little town about an hour and a half north of West Palm Beach, and I shot a video, part of my series of showing you guys different small towns throughout the state of Florida. We're having a lot of fun doing that. I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep going up the coast. There's Cocoa Beach. Got a friend up there. And I got, where else do we got? We got, what's the name of it? Ormond Beach. There's a place called Ormond Beach. I have some friends that live in Ormond Beach. And so lots of cool places to go check out up there and show you guys small towns, just different places for you to vacation and visit here in Florida. Or if you're looking to move here, who knows, you may want to move in one of those towns. But we went to Sebastian, Florida, and man, it was fun. Partnered up, had a sponsor for my video with Captain Hiram's Resort there, and we're right on the Indian River, and we got to spend 2 nights, a nice room, beautiful view. It was a blast. We had a great time. Let's see. We got Dom real quick just here. Dom says, congrats on your 9. Well, thank you very much, Dom. Thank you. Yeah, that was a great sale. I was blessed to have those customers and very happy. So thank you very much. And let me see, what do we got here? Oh, well, hello. Margie, getting from Dunedin, West Florida. Well, we're going to be talking about the West Coast of the Free State. And we in the news. Yeah, there's some not the best news for the West Coast, but it's part of Florida, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. It's not my market, but my channel's not always about what's going on here in my market. It's kind of a little bit about Florida and everywhere in between, right? So talking about Florida in general, real estate, travel, getting out, having good beers, meeting cool people. That's what my channel is all about. Just kind of showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly of Florida, and there is some ugly going on in Florida right now, that is for sure. So well, looks like we're getting some people on here, so I appreciate it. You may have seen the title. Yes, the title. And let me share this with you guys. Let me share, and where is it? And share. How's that for a title, folks? Worst housing market in America is now Florida's Cape Coral. More canals than anywhere else in the world. I did not know that until I was reading about that area in West Florida over there, between Fort Myers and the Tampa area. Very interesting. So Wall Street Journal says worst housing market right now in the country. Not good for the people over there, and we're seeing that in Florida. It is definitely a slow market. It's everything. Everything's very slow. I'm sorry. I'm being rude. It's got some people popping on. Just let me say hello. Thank you very much. Hi, Dorothy. Thank you. Thank you for hopping on and saying hi. Appreciate your support as always. So no guest tonight. I am by myself, but you guys can help the show. You can be a part of the show by that right there. Ask me questions. Ask some questions. Keep the show going, and I'll try my best to answer those questions. So but yeah, Florida's got a lot of stuff going on right now. We are just all over the news, aren't we? If you saw my video I did recently, I did a video about the new laws that went into effect. It's happy July, happy half the year. Look at that, half the year's gone, just like that, halfway through 2025. That's scary to think. Florida had a bunch of new laws go into effect July 1st. Some interesting laws. So you had some laws that went into effect were about animal cruelty, some putting people on a list now if they're convicted of animal cruelty, which that I fully support. Yeah, so there's not enough punishment for someone that hurts an animal. Oh, let's see, Margie. Well, Margie said, all right, Margie, we'll get back to that in a second. There was also a couple other rules about like pulling over in the lane. Like it's been a Florida law that you should always pull over if you see a police officer on the side of the road, or ambulance, fire truck, tow truck, even just a regular car. It's always best to try to get over if you can. The new law now states that you have to slow down to 20 miles from the posted speed limit, below 20 miles below the posted speed limit, if you can. If you can't get over into the other lane. I got a lot of heat from that because I messed up in the video when I said slow down 20 miles, and people if you slow down 20 miles from 70, you're going to cause accidents. And I understand that. I actually put a blurb under the video that said I made a mistake, and it's 20 miles less than the posted speed limit. So, but yeah, that's one of the ones. But so there's a couple others. There's 180 laws, but obviously the one that got the most attention, the video blew up for me, by the way. I think it's sitting at 230,000 views now. And by the way, I did it. I hit 30,000 subscribers. I'm actually at 32,000 as we speak tonight. I finally that was a huge goal for me, y'all. I hit 30,000. So I'm super excited about that. And yes, there will be a video coming sometime this summer of me jumping in a pool with a suit on, because why? In one of my videos, I just said I would do it like a dummy, and I promised everyone that when I hit 30,000, I would do it. So stay tuned. You'll see me act like an idiot, and I'll try to make something fun out of it. Who knows? But the biggest one the biggest law was in Florida. And it's not just Florida, but it's going through with the rest of the United States, and that is that we now have to change textbooks and maps and everything to say the Gulf of America. And it will no longer be referred to as Gulf of Mexico. Matter of fact, I was told that if you hit Google right now, it was actually Google Maps. It has already been changed. So, so that was one of the ones that people in Florida, the schools and the curriculum and everything, and school books and just everything, that they will be changing that. So that one got a lot of attention, a lot of heat from people either liking it or not liking it. And so it was pretty interesting. But along with that, there was 179 other laws that were taking effect here in Florida. So let's see. Comments. Margie, I live on one of the largest cul-de-sacs in Pinellas County. My neighbor listed her house for $625, gone in 3 weeks. Well, you know what, Margie? Maybe $625 was the right price, because I can tell you the housing market on the West Coast right now is hurting. A lot of people over there in Cape Coral are, they're seeing prices drop $100,000. And just a lot. People are dropping prices, and we'll talk about it in the story tonight. But yeah, if they priced it right, if that house for $625 was, maybe it was a lot higher before, then that's great. I'm glad to see that. Look, we don't want to see people lose money on homes, but I think we all know that the housing market shot up way, and we'll talk about that. Prices shot up during the pandemic so high that it only makes sense that we're seeing prices come down. And they're going to keep coming down, as you'll see as we talk. Yes, animals must be protected. Abusers belong in jail. Yeah, that's about the nicest form of punishment you could give for them, for hurting an animal. So, but anyway, so let's what else? And I'm nowhere near Cape Coral. Dunedin is a very desirable place. Okay, all right, good to know. Well, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, it's not every market. Not every market's getting hit. But where I'm at and other places in Florida, it is still slow. I did have a property. It's not everywhere. I mean, I sold a condo in 30 days, roughly 30 days from time to market, got it under contract, sold it for full asking price. So, and they were YouTube clients, which is really cool. They found me, they saw me making a video 2 years ago in Delray Beach, and I put them in the video, and they said they were fans of my channel. And then a year later, they had me sell their mother's condo. So that was pretty cool. And it did sell. It sold, like I said, it sold at full ask, and it was a good deal. So It was like $250,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. It wasn't updated, new or anything, but it was really clean and very good condition. And it was close to the clubhouse, which is very desirable for this community. So there are homes, but it was also, I priced it right. There was a talk of pricing it higher, and I said, no, you're not going to get the offers. It needs to be priced where it was. And I was right. It was priced where it went. And there was a little negotiating, and we were able to get a full price offer on it. So there are some condos still selling. This is a 2-story building. There were no assessments. There's none of the milestone headaches that some of the people are facing on a lot of the other places. I just talked to a realtor in Jensen Beach today, up in Martin County, and they're at 10 months of inventory on condos. That's absolutely just crazy. Not incredible. It's crazy that they have 10 months of condos up there. So there's a huge supply of condos all over Florida, and we see the numbers just keep creeping up higher and higher. So, I've had some people reach out to me. It is a good time if they're financially ready and it's a good building, and they don't have a lot of assessments. If they do have a lot of assessments, then you need to do your homework and make sure you know what you're buying into and look at the minutes and all that. But there are deals. There's always deals. You just have to look for them. And as I said, prices are dropping on a lot of them. We just lowered the price on one of my properties a couple days ago. So, but all right. Well, we can get into a little bit of this and that. And please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But I want to get into a little bit about this story that I saw. And so let me go hit the share screen here and go over, and we will look at this. And so this is the story that was making the news. The worst housing market in America is now Florida's Cape Coral, which I said is over on the west coast of Florida. So this area was very popular because it was a lot of retirees, and the homes are on the water. It's close to the Gulf of America. Do I have to say that? Gulf of Mexico, whatever Gulf you want to call it. It was, as they say, they're a little slice of paradise. And it has more canals than anywhere else in the world. That I did not know. That was an interesting fact to know that there's, and I've never been there, but I saw a picture of it, and it's amazing. There's canals everywhere. But that place was like on fire. It says the median home price soared nearly 75% to $419 in 3 years, and transforming the character of this middle income community that for decades had catered to retirees and small investors. It says, now, 3 years later, for sale signs line every other block. Open houses are deserted for hours. Foreclosures are ticking up. Home builders are listing half-built shells at discounts as they abandon projects to cut losses. And locals say, this one's interesting, the lack of traffic has led to an increase in vehicle speeding through empty residents. By the way, a new law that went into effect is if you're caught doing 50 miles per hour more than the posted speed limit, I think it's a $500 fine. No, I'm not a lawyer, and 3 days in jail. So that was a new law that went into effect. So they are going to be going after speeders in the state of Florida. But yeah, and that's in this empty streets causing people to speed through it. Says Cape Coral is the worst housing market in America right now, said this realtor, and I don't think we're at the bottom yet. It says home prices for Cape Coral and Fort Myers have tumbled 11% in 2 years through May, the most of any major metro area, according to the analysis for the Wall Street Journal. And you can see, and it's true, you see open house sign every weekend down here in Florida. We see open house signs I remember when you didn't see any, and now it's just all the time. Almost every day of the week, you'll see open house signs. It says the area's home prices have declined for 12 out of the past 13 months, and 50% of the homes have experienced price cuts, according to Parco Labs, a real estate data analytics company. While that is more than nearly anywhere else in the U.S., neighboring communities such as Sarasota and Tampa are in a similar bind. I don't know if our West Coast person here can tell us if that's the case or not. It also has the most homeowners underwater, that's something I haven't seen much of that, but it's interesting. It says the county with nearly 8% of owing more on their mortgages than their homes are worth. So that's a scary sign to see that. One person said they hosted an open house in Cape Coral. The home bought 3 years ago by an investor looking to rent it on Airbnb, fully furnished and has a pool. The asking price started at $675, but the seller has cut it to less than 500,000, about 100,000 below the purchase price, and has been on and off the market for a year and has had 0 offers. Folks, that is not good. That is not good when you're sitting there for that long with the house. I mean, I know I've been fortunate with some of mine, but I do have some that are not. Just had a conversation today, no offers, just sitting there, along with, all the other inventory that's piling up around it. It's just not a good situation. It says we're cutting the price further tomorrow. And the housing market throughout the U.S. are grappling with one or more of the factors that can hurt home sales and prices, including high mortgage rates. But Cape Coral is suffering from nearly every affliction that can cause the housing market to slump. The metro area of about 800,000 is feeling the effects of elevated home prices, ballooning insurance premiums and property taxes, natural disasters, and the return to office for remote workers and waning demand from investors after a glut of building in the area brought rental prices down. So at the height of the recent Florida migration frenzy, Lee County, where Cape Coral is located, had 3,500 homes and no open house signs back then available for sale, and now there are 12,000 listed. That's just crazy. So much supply, very little demand, and seller base where over 50% are cutting prices. I would expect this downward trend to continue. So, and it's not just Cape Coral, but they're making the news right now. They're getting hit, and I've been hearing about this all year about them in the condo market and the hurricanes that hit and stuff. And so, it's depressing. No one wants to hear this. We need a correction, but this is maybe getting a little bit more than a correction, as we see. And it says new developments are offering deep concessions. And remember, we talked about this in one of the videos a week ago about new home sales when I had a guest on. And it says many are offering deep concessions as of May. 64% of all multifamily properties are offering some kind of concession, more than double the rate a year earlier. And of course, we all know about the hurricanes and flood insurance and stuff like that. So let me stop sharing and go back to the video, see if there's any comments. Sorry, guys, I'm a little congested today from my travels. Let's see. Let me see. So Margie says, what's the condo market looking like? Stuart, we have a unit on the water and it may come up for sale. It's fully renovated, lots of amenities. Well, they're at 10%, roughly 10%. 10 months of inventory, Margie. So they have I think we're at 12. They have 10 months of inventory up there. So, and one of my condos is also up there. It's in a 55 and older community. And it's close. It's not on the water, but it's close to the bridge going over the Indian River. And it's like crickets, been very quiet, very quiet. So I would say if you're going to price it right and be patient, because there's a ton of inventory out there. If it looks really good, that will certainly help. I think the one I'm offering is pretty cute. It's nicely updated. But if yours is totally updated and lots of amenities, that might get some attention. So, and I'm going to talk about something in a little bit that we'll see if that affects Florida from stuff I've been hearing from people. But yeah, so let's see if this person. So thank you, Margie. Yeah, you have to. I just sold one, full price. It was priced right. It was cute, clean, nice, right? Nice, 55 and older. It worked fine for them. And it's right by the clubhouse. So it depends. You really have to filter through with the agent you're working with, or when you're looking, you have to look at everything that's out there and find one. And if you find one that's really good and they're willing to negotiate, you might get a good deal. It just depends. Then you may have some sellers that are sticking their head in the sand and they think, nope, I'm not lowering my price. I know what it's worth. And unfortunately, you're seeing properties that have now been on the market 200 plus days and still sitting there. So what you think your condo is worth is not the market is what someone thinks your house is worth. And I mean, I don't mean that someone says, oh, your house is worth $20,000. I mean, ridiculous. But in a way, what someone's willing to pay for your house is what it's worth. And if no one's willing to pay what you're asking, it doesn't necessarily mean that, that's the market price. It could just be that, everything that's going on with people right now in the country and finances, that's just not a good time for them. But in general, it does come down to price a lot right now with condos. And So just depends on what you're willing to let your property go for, I guess. This again, it was great getting whatever you wanted for your property a couple years ago. Those days have sailed. They're not here. You're not going to pull that. No one's going to just walk in. If it's priced right and you get a full, like I did, but again, I had to talk to my people and say we need to price it a little bit less than what they thought about. So, hello. So nice to have you here. Thank you. You're always supporting me. I hope you're having a great evening as well. And you liked the Sebastian video. It's nice up there. You should go check it out. It's a fun little place. Let me see. We've got Salem. Our sellers mostly people who bought in 2020, 23. I just signed on. I mean, I've seen properties that were bought and they're turning around and selling them, but people paid a lot in 2022 and 2023. So they're going to, in this market, they're not going to necessarily get what they paid for. Not everybody. Again, real estate's different. There's always different house, different neighborhood, something going on. But I think right now what I've seen, the people selling in Florida, the people are getting out of Florida, their condos, and people selling homes are leaving Florida. Some are moving to maybe something smaller. A lot of people are leaving Florida and retiring to other states where they find it might be a little less expensive to live at a retirement age. And then other people are transferring out, say, just for job or whatever reasons, or maybe like I've had people just go back to New Jersey and go back to Pennsylvania as they just wanted. I spoke to a lady who wants to go to North Carolina. She lives out west in what we call the acreage area. And she's thinking about selling her property and moving up to the mountains because she's just tired of flat Florida. So I don't know. That's a good question, Salem. I don't know if it's so many of it's the people who bought 22. I did see for a while when I was looking at expired listings, I did see a lot of properties that people bought in 2023 and they were trying to sell them, but they had them priced so high that they're not selling. Let's see. Another question. Thank you guys, by the way. Thank you so much for engaging. It really helps the show. I will have a guest. I have a couple guests lined up, some other realtors from other parts of the country. It just makes the show better when I got someone to bounce stuff off with. And but thank you guys. I try my hardest to keep the show going and try to provide some entertainment for you. I'm not a joke teller or anything, so I know you're here for the news, for the real estate and what's going on. But new homes, let me see. New homes are where it's at. Go west in Florida and have them throw everything in. New communities in Kissimmee popping up, priced well in a new area with new schools and places. Yeah, Kissimmee. I remember when Kissimmee was nothing, right? I mean, it's huge up there, and it's there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going up there. There's a lot of properties up in that Orlando area, so that's good. You probably watch my friend Ken Pozek, who has a great Orlando channel. He's all about Orlando. The guy's amazing. So he's another YouTuber. Yeah. So let me talk about. I'll switch gears on it. So we got the West Coast as we talked about, and it's looking pretty bad over there. But it's not just there. There's some other places that are really seeing the price drops. And like I said, the market here. Look, guys, I've been at this since 2013, and it's been a slow year for me. I mean, I've been blessed to get the listings that I have and the buyers that I've had, but my phone used to ring off the hook. I used to have people call me all the time. Hey, we're coming from New York. We're coming from Canada. We're coming from California. We saw your video. Hey, we want to move into South Florida. And yeah, it's been real quiet. So if you know anybody, tell them to call me, please. I could use the business. But I just got a listing. I got a listing appointment Saturday from someone who watched one of my videos. Funny enough, I did a video. They saw my video and they want to sell their property. So they're moving out of country. So they're not leaving Florida. They're leaving the country. But still, it's nice that they saw me and they want me to sell their property. So that's pretty cool. But all right, well, let me go show you about what I was talking about. So well, before I go to the video, I know you guys have been watching it. And again, I'm not trying to do this to be political by any means. Okay. It's in the news. I was talking about it, but I've been hearing people say that Florida could get a real boost if the guy running for mayor in New York wins. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's been a lot of people saying that some people don't want to stay in New York if he becomes mayor. some people don't like living in Florida because of the governor we have, whatever. But I've been hearing more than a few people have been throwing that around that we could see a lot of people from New York coming down to South Florida. I don't know if, again, politics in our country right now are so crazy and ugly. I usually don't, but Florida could see a boost to a lot of New Yorkers coming down here. So we'll see if that happens or not. I don't know, but I've had people say that they're moving out of Florida because of who we have for governor. So it goes both ways, right? So we'll just, you don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see what happens with Florida. But I'd be interesting because I've heard some people throw that around, and again, could be just rumor mill. We'll see what happens with Florida. I don't know if that's going to happen, but there's certainly enough inventory down here that anything that would help pick up the inventory, people are starting to look at Florida, and the prices are prime for it right now too. So, but speaking of prime prices, let me show you what's going on with the prices here, because home prices are dropping in Florida, and these 5 metros are stand out. So while the uncertainty in Florida's real estate market is on the rise, home prices are starting to fall. Through overall list, though all list rates remain at 50% higher than pre-pandemic levels, the numbers for April 2025 showed a significant downward trend, with the median prices statewide coming in at $412,734 in May. There was a slightly smaller decrease at 2.2% year over year, but prices still trending lower, with a median list price in Florida at $439,999. Chief economist at Florida Realtors, Brad O'Connor, said that a 4% drop is the largest year-over-year percentage decline observed in Florida single-family home prices, going all the way back to 2011. So it's worthy of attention. It says inventory is always one of the first places to look. Like I said, 10 months of inventory going up in Stewart and 12 months of inventory down here in Palm Beach County on condos. So consider how supply and demand are interacting and what that means for home prices, whether they're likely to climb or drop, says Anthony Smith, senior economist at Realtor.com. Florida had a 34% increase in active listings compared to last year, which means that there are more home sellers now and more options for potential buyers to choose from. That's what we've been talking about for the past couple months. Smith says that home sellers might not be the biggest drivers of the recent increase in inventory, because newly listed properties were actually flat or lower compared with 1 year ago. In Florida, it's a buyer's market, and resales are competing with a lot of new construction or newer homes in certain price points, which makes it harder. And it says builders are able to offer aggressive incentives, such as buying down the interest rate or offering money on the price or towards closing costs, to make buying a home more affordable. Now, you can negotiate credits on resales too. They're just not as much as a builder can, but you can ask for closing costs to help, and you can use that closing cost the same way on a resale. But anyway, so it talked about Florida. They talked about these 5 areas, and of course, the first on here, Cape Coral, Fort Myers. So the median list price in May 2025, $429,900. The median list price declined year over year, negative 6.7%. Year over year inventory property count increased 36.1% increase in properties. Of the top 5 metro areas facing a decrease in median list prices, Cape Coral, Fort Myers area had the steepest drop, going down 6.7% year over year in May 2025. In addition to declining home prices and increased inventory, the Cape Coral, Fort Myers area also had one of the biggest upticks of median days on the market, with a 22% year-over-year increase, suggesting that demand isn't holding up. In fact, the median days on the market are increasing statewide, which Smith says signals a bit of a sluggishness from buyers who are less willing to bite on what's for sale. So people are looking at properties now and coming back days later. They're not, okay, we'll put an offer in. This is what I've seen. Maybe, again, it could be different for other agents, but they've come and they looked at it, and then they come back and look at it again, and sometimes 3 times. There's no fear. There's no fear that they're going to miss the property. They'll look at it. They'll go talk with their spouse or whatever about it, talk to their realtor, maybe look at something else, maybe even throw an offer at something and go, nah, and okay, let's go back to this one. So there's so much inventory, there's no fear of them losing out on the property. And so, you get the sellers. What happened? Did they like it? I said, well, they came in, they sort of liked it, I guess, but we haven't heard back from them. And then they eventually, sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. So that's what I'm seeing in the market when I'm out there. Naples, we know about Naples and Marco Island, which is a very, very affluent area. Naples, one of the wealthiest areas in the nation. Median list price in May was $749. The median list price decline year over year is negative 6.3%. And their inventory property count increase was 33.9%. Says the Marco Island metro area isn't immune to dipping home prices, with median list prices decreasing in May. Of the top 5 metros on this list, the area also had the sharpest decline in new home listings for sale, dropping 19% last month. Nonetheless, overall inventory in the area is still up at 33.9%, indicating that there are indeed homes for sale for those who have the financial liquidity to buy. So it's a nice area. So then, hey, look here, Miami, West Palm Beach. There you go. We're on the list. Great. The median list price around the area was $510. I remember it was up in the 6s. Median list price decline year over year is 5.5%. Our property count increase is 38.7%. And this trendy beach area never goes out of style, but Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach metro area is looking a bit more affordable right now, with median home prices dipping to $510,000, a 5.5% decrease year over year, and active listings at 38.7%. Buyers in the market might have more luck. So Miami also had price reduced share of 19.7%, showing a significant portion of the inventory that had price cuts within the region. And then went over to Punta Gorda, and it doesn't look like they had as much of an increase with 25%. The median price is nice at $389,900, and currently has the most affordable median home prices of the top 5 metro areas in Florida. On the downward side, coming in at $389,000, this region, which includes all of Charlotte County, is seeing home prices down 5.6% year over year. Also interesting is the increase in inventory, which is up 25% from last year at large metro areas of Punta Gorda, indicating a growing supply of home shoppers looking to buy. And then I think, is this the last one? Yeah, and then it tops off Panama City, and up there, and they had the median list price in there is $425,000, negative 5.4%. They had an 18.5% increase in properties, and it says with only a 1.3% new listings on the market in May, Panama City, Beach, Florida area might be a bit more competitive when it comes to affordable inventory, which increased 18.5% year over year. However, that didn't stop home prices from decelerating 5.4% year over year, with a median list price of $425,000 in May. Says the good news for sellers in that homes are not lingering as long here, with median days on market up only 6.1% year over year, which is half the statewide median of 12.2%. So, and then just talks about other areas to look for. So you get back to it. So prices, we're just still seeing the prices in the inventory sit. It's kind of the same story, I guess, that we've been talking about for a while. Let me see. We had some comments here. Oh boy. Let's see. New homes everywhere. Let me see. We got. Okay. So, hey, Stephen here. I live in Key West. Following you often. I'm always looking in South Florida. Yeah, South Florida. I mean, look, if you have to buy, I heard another realtor say this. If you have to buy, you have the means, and you need to buy a house, then you go out and you look for a house, and you find one, and you try to negotiate the best deal. And right now, you can probably get a pretty good deal, even though the rates are still horrible. But if you have to buy, not everyone has to. So if you don't have to, just keep watching the market and keep watching these videos and all the realtors talking about it in the news, and we'll see what happens with the market. But there are some deals to be had out there if you look, and we keep seeing the prices drop. So because eventually it's going to get down to where it sort of bottoms out, right? That's what everyone's waiting for. And if you wait until it bottoms out, well, everyone's going to do the same thing. Now everyone's going to jump in the market. And then we start the whole cycle all over again. Once it's there, if you're not the first one to the party, then you're going to be the one that's paying a little bit more, because sellers are going to start realizing and go, oh, let's raise my price. We got so many people looking at the house. I mean, this is what happened in 2020. We saw it happen. So I don't see, there's no reason to think that it won't repeat itself, just maybe not go as crazy as it did before. Sweet says, I've even seen sellers offering to hold the mortgage for the buyer, being the bank offering a great rate right now just to get out. Yeah. Seller financing. I haven't dealt with any seller financing, but we've heard some people, if you find some people some really good interest rates, some of those that want to sell, you can assume the mortgage, or just doing seller financing. I haven't dealt with anyone doing that. I've heard of it. I just never done it with any of my buyers or sellers. Let's see. So any news on the Tuttle property, West Palm Beach, supposedly a big condo community with Cheesecake Factory, bowling alley? I don't know Tuttle property. Big condo community with I know the Cheesecake Factory and the bowling alley down there. That's all part of the square. That's Stephen Ross, I think, I believe owns a lot of that, which was formerly City Place. So that's where the Cheesecake Factory is. It's right on the corner, and then right across down the street there was the Rock and Roll Bowling place down there. It used to be where Macy's was, and now it's I can't remember. It's a brand new condo rental, luxury condos right there. So let's see, foreclosure lawsuit. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. No, I haven't looked. That's one story I haven't seen yet, so it hasn't come across the news. So maybe it's just, or I missed it. Lynn, what else do you got here? I love this. Thanks for the comments, by the way. Lender and developer have had issues. They're trying to secure a new loan agreement. Interesting. There's a lot going on in West Palm. There's a lot of money coming into that West Palm area. So big money, Polson Capital, right? Goldman Sachs are in there. You got Harry's, the restaurant that opened up, which is famous up in New York. You got I was talking to a condo developer, an agent who reps a really high-end condo community that's going up here because they have another property doing where the prices are a little bit more reasonable. And I have some buyers out of Texas who are looking for a condo, and they keep having me pay attention to what news projects are happening here. So one of the products communities that's going to be going up there, a new condo in Flagler called Shorecrest. And so trying to stay on top of all that for them. But the condo market's crazy. You guys saw my one story I did talking about La Fontana. Supposedly Sirhan Group is offering to buy them out for like $200 million for the whole building. That was in the news. I actually got interviewed for that story, talking about the condo buyouts, which is happening here in Florida. And that whole area is just like, they're looking for any old buildings they can and trying to buy people out to put more buildings that are going up there. So they're all luxury. I wouldn't say it's affordable housing by any means, but it's all super high. Salem. So this is State Road 7 Southern Boulevard. Okay, that must be somewhere else then. That's out towards Wellington. So yeah, I'm not familiar. I didn't know there was a Cheesecake Factory out there. If you're talking about the same place, I'll have to look it up. Honestly, I haven't seen that story. So, but thanks. So I appreciate you bringing some stuff to my attention. So it was interesting. There's always some new things going on here. We're seeing a lot of new construction, a lot of new commercial business is really booming. So we're seeing a lot of places here in Florida. Like I said, the condos, we're seeing a lot of new restaurants coming into play. There's just so much going on, and not just West Palm Beach. There's new buildings going up in Boynton Beach. Boca has a lot of new projects. You got Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale, all sorts of condos, a lot of new projects. My wife just made me aware of a huge project that's probably going up in Port St. Lucie, which I know they're probably not happy about, but they're looking at putting a huge warehouse and restaurant and a facility out there. Florida's still growing. I don't know how. I don't know how. The way it seems like it's kind of slow, but they're building, so they must know something that the rest of us don't. That people are still planning on coming here because they keep building lots of high rises and lots of new warehouses and Cleveland Clinics, or was it Cleveland Clinics opening up a place in West Palm Beach, and one of the universities, Vanderbilt's opening a campus in West Palm Beach. So there's a lot happening. That town just keeps growing. It's crazy. So we'll see what happens with it. But All right. So, wow, we made it to 30, 40 minutes on my own. I appreciate it. You guys, and it's funny, is we went from like 30 something people, then it dropped to 15 real quick. I know it's hard to hold the show on your own, guys. So I think I talked about most of the stories for you, and just trying to keep you abreast of what's going on. I'm going to try to work on a video. It's 4th of July, so I'll probably get a video out Sunday. Probably won't. It's just going to be a quick video of talking about some condo prices and stuff. I do have plans to go check out some more cities, and I need to get back out and do some more news stories about what's going on in the real estate here. A couple things coming up. Obviously, one of the biggest stories in Florida that I didn't do a story on, it has nothing to do about real estate, but the big elephant in the room in Florida, man. Florida is always in the headlines. It's always in the headlines, and it's got to be the story about the alligator alley. I mean, it's just Florida's always in the news for something absolutely insane. Been following that story. I don't know if you guys have been following that or not. Maybe you don't see it as much, but what they're putting out there on an old airport, it's out in the middle of a swamp. You are out in the middle of a swamp where they're talking about a detention place, I guess. And it's just Florida. It's weird, man. Florida just really seems to make the news. It's crazy. Yeah. Hi, Pamela. How you doing? So thanks for joining me. You live up in Pamela's smart. She lives up in the beautiful part, quiet, away from the craziness. So I'm not going to say where, but she lives up in a nice area. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of fencing. It's got alligators around it. You're out in the middle of nowhere. So very controversial. And I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it just because you've all seen it in the news. Everyone's got their opinion of what they think about it. And it's crazy. It's weird. Like these, I know most of you, I don't know where y'all are watching from, but it always seems like Florida's always in the news, more so than any, and not in it has to be political way. Just Florida's always in the news, from people taking bath salts and trying to eat another person's face off years ago, like real zombies. I mean, it's a crazy place. Been here 30 plus years, and it is an interesting state, man. I just sometimes wonder, are the stories the same in other states? Because Florida needs its own reality show. Maybe it is a reality show. Maybe I'm living in a reality show. That's what Florida is. It's crazy, but it's also cool. Like going up to Sebastian and let me show you guys. Let me go to a little bit of this. Let me go. Where's it at? Up here. So this is up in me up in Sebastian, and we went and checked out this really cool brewery that I said. You'll see it right here coming up with the sign, Paradolia. And this is a great place. And now they got a commercial. It's got to deal with commercials, right? That's okay. That's how I get paid. But it was a cool place, neat little bar. There's cool stuff about Florida too. It's not always crazy, right? We have so many great little towns and people. This was a lot of fun. I got to meet the owner and his crew up here. Let me fast up here. This guy named Pete, super cool guy. Used to be a school teacher. Took a risk. Him and his wife took their savings, and here he's explaining what the name of his brewery means. I didn't know this, but I guess that's when you see an image, like in the clouds, if you see a man in the cloud or Jesus on a toast, I guess that's what pareidolia means. And so they thought that's a cool, and their slogan is, let's face it, beer is good, right? Because people see faces on things. So neat people, had a lot of fun, got to do that. It was really cool. Great guy. And then I got to meet this lady here talking to, that's Mel Fisher's granddaughter, the treasure hunter, and that's his granddaughter. And this place is really cool, and you get to go up there and see treasure from the Atocha and the 1715 fleet that sunk off Sebastian right out there. And there's people still out there searching for it. And so we were talking. She's a really nice lady. We talked about the museum, and it had some just amazing stuff in there, like this cannon. They like this ship. They pull this cannon. It's like 3,000 pound cannon. It's insane. So it's really kind of neat stuff. And then let me show you guys this fast forward. So this is the resort, Captain Hiram's, if you ever want to go up there, it's a nice place. So Florida's beautiful, folks. I love Florida. I know there's a lot of nuttiness about it, but this is I like showing you guys the positive aspects of it. My wife and I having a dinner, looking out the view out there is just fantastic place. If you ever go to stand up there, look up Captain Hiram's. It's a great little place. And these are the videos I'm still going to be bringing you guys as I get out and travel more up the coast. And then I'm going to make my way over to the West Coast. So I can meet some of you folks over on the West Coast and you can show me your town. There's a lot of cool places to see and get out and explore. And we got to go on a nice river cruise. We actually, if you look here, there's dolphin right there. You can barely see him, but we went out on the boat and we had dolphin feeding right near us. So it was pretty neat, pretty cool little adventure. Sorry, just getting around, and they took us up the intercoastal, and then you ended up over the Sebastian River. Then I talked a little bit about real estate. Anyway, so cool place. And what is, at least what you guys got? Yes, the story is crazy, Pamela. Yeah, it's a crazy story. It's there's Florida, Palm Beach County. Yeah, Palm Beach County has its fair share of fair stories. Anyone remember Hanging Chad? Remember the Hanging Chad? Yeah. Remember that story? We're over in Palm Beach. William Kennedy Smith, those stories over there, and other stories over in Palm Beach. So, yeah, let me see. So we were all part of the Truman Show. Good comment. We are. I sometimes think that it's like they're just watching us and playing us all against each other. What's nice is there's all this just everyone. There's just so much hate and this and going on and stuff. But like when I go out in these little towns and meet people from different backgrounds, different beliefs, whatever, everyone's just pretty cool. Like, have a beer. That's like I met this guy and I met this cool old surfer. And just everyone's just pretty nice. In general, people are pretty decent if you give them a chance. Sure, we're going to have people you don't get along with. That's life. That's how it is. Just like my dog doesn't like every dog that comes up to it. But in general, people are just good people. And that's kind of what I just want to do, is go out and make videos and show you that there's some cool places to get away from all this BS. Come down here, even if you're not moving here, come down here, visit, eat the food, check out the parks, check out how pretty the water is, get out of the cold if you're up in the Northeast in this winter. I know you guys are sweating your tails off up there, and just come down here and enjoy. And as Pam says, it's crazy everywhere. I can't run from it. Yeah, we're surrounded by crazy. It is what it is. Let's see, agree, nowhere to go. Yeah. So, but you know what? There are places to go, just like I did. You get out, you go out, go say hi to someone, go meet a new friend, go to a bar, have a drink, talk to somebody. You may get someone crazy, you may get someone nice. Chances are at a bar, you might get someone crazy. But go explore a different town, go to a nature park, go walk. There's so many things to do here in Florida. You can get away from everybody. We were out, my wife went out. We went out to, I didn't put in the video because it wasn't anything to show, but we went to a preserve up there in Sebastian. They have this big park up there, and we were out there by ourselves on a dirt road surrounded by trees and nature, and it was cool. I don't think I would camp personally. I like water, to be near water, and I think there was some water some places, but it's just really neat. So there's a lot of cool things in Florida to go out and enjoy it. It doesn't you can let the crazies have the crazy. We'll enjoy ourselves and have some fun and enjoy Florida and everything it has to offer. So all right, guys, I try my best to bring you guys these videos. I'm really going to work. I know I have more guests to come on, and I've been really searching for some topics. It feels like we keep talking about the housing market being what it is, and it sucks. The housing market sucks right now. It's all it is. It's just, if you can afford to buy, call me, buy. If you can't, hold on, maybe to get better. It is what it is. It's just, that's real estate. It goes that way. But I'm going to keep trying to look for some more stories to talk to you guys, and I want to incorporate about my videos and different things I'm doing. So I don't want this just be a show about the news and what's happening with boring real estate news all the time. Because I get bored talking about it, and I'm sure you get bored listening to it. So, so if you got some ideas that you'd want me to talk about, because this is a way for you to interact with me, shoot me a message. You guys can leave this message will go away when we end the show, but you can always send me a message. There's a community page on my channel, so you can go there and actually post and say, Paul, talk about this or show us this. Give me some ideas. I'll go out and, as I said, I'm going to explore more of Florida, show you more things to do. I haven't been south at all yet. Miami's got some cool things, really cool things to see in Miami. Coral Gables, loaded with history, has one of the largest swimming pools. Yeah, that's a cool place. I'm definitely going to be going down there. There's a lighthouse down there. It's really cool things to see. And that's what I want to do, show you guys Florida. So if you come here, you enjoy it. But I appreciate y'all watching. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone who left a comment. You guys are the best. I love your support. Thanks for getting me to 30,000 subscribers and now 32,000. I also hit 5.5 million views. That's just amazing. Never thought that I would get that many views or subscribers from an old guy making videos about Florida, but thank you guys. And I showed my wife, I'll tell you probably don't know, if you go to my videos and go and click from oldest to newest, my first video is there. Now I'm going to warn you, I suck. I am horrible. It's just so uncomfortable. But the video's there. The very first video that I made as a realtor trying to sell a house. So if you want a good laugh, you want to make some chuckle, you want to see a goofball, go watch the very first video on my channel. And all you have to do is go to videos and then hit the little thing that changes from the newest to oldest. You'll see it. I'm wearing a suit. I don't look the same at all. It was a real crap show. I'll just try to keep it clean, but yeah, but it's there. So go watch it, laugh, tell me what you think, and leave some comments about what you want to see in the future, and I'll try to bring that to you. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a great 4th of July. Enjoy it. Long weekend. Be safe. Hydrate. It's going to be hot. It's going to be raining here, but be safe. Have a good time. Celebrate, America's independence and that day with your friends and family, and just, celebrate the goodness out there. Enjoy it. Have fun. Be safe if you're shooting fireworks off. Don't lose a finger and all that stuff. And we'll talk to you guys. We'll see you hopefully Sunday. I'm going to work on it. I haven't shot a video yet, so I got to get something done really tomorrow. It's the only time to get it done. And all right. Hope you all have a great holiday. We'll talk to you later.